I wanted to make an aquarium using houseplants, but I had absolutely no idea if it would work or not. I did a little bit of research and heard that peace lilies can work, so I gave that a go. Now, I wasn't sure to start with how I would just put this in the water, if it would work at all, if the plant would melt away. So to start with, I had the idea of washing off all of the soil, because you can't put the soil in the water, it would just be murky, and then placing it in a bowl in some wood so that only the roots were in the water and the rest of the plant was suspended. Now later I found out this wasn't even necessary. You can actually submerge quite a large section of the plant underwater without it being an issue. But I didn't know this then, so I did a little test to start with and gave it a month, and it was all absolutely fine, working well, plant growing. So yeah, I knew it was time to crack on with the project. Now I've opted for a shallow tank so that I can build up some rocks to be able to sit the peace lily on. It's got quite interesting dimensions, it's nice and wide, but not too high. And I'm using a clip-on desk lamp for lighting. I've changed out the bulb though, so it's quite a strong LED bulb, which is cool white, so you get more of a whiter light, more like midday sun rather than it being like a yellowy light. Now it's time to start putting the hardscape in, and I'm trying to build up like an island in the middle. The main purpose here is to generate height, but also to add a bit of interest as well. I filled any of the gaps between the rocks with gravel, just so that we didn't get loads of like detritus and things collecting in those areas, because they could foul the water sort of later on. Then it's time to place in the wood, and this is what I was using as a scaffold to be able to lock the peace lily in place so that it didn't fall over. I then use super glue gel to lock everything in place. I've gone for sort of like a beach sand colour as a decorative layer in the foreground. And it's given a really sort of clean look to the design, kind of contemporary in a way. But I did want a little bit of detail, so I added some scatter gravel that matched the rocks. I filled up from the tap and added a water conditioner, but I didn't want to take it right to the brim of the tank because there's going to be a fish in here that could possibly jump, so I left it an inch below. Then it was time to add some additional plants underwater, and because I haven't got a substrate system here, I've gone for epiphyte plants which just stick to the hardscape, you know, the rocks and the wood. Anubias works really well for this kind of design. They don't require a huge amount of light, and they're slow growing as well. For fast growing plants to be able to suck up nutrients and avoid algae, I went for Hydrocotyle tripetita. It's like a tiny clover-like plant. grows really fast and in every direction. Then I also added some pearl weed that will fill out the back area. Crazy fast growing plant, hence the name pearl weed. I then took some media from another filter that was already running, so it was fully cycled, and placed it into the filter that we're going to be using on this tank. This is a tiny little nano canister, but it pushes around plenty of water and will work perfectly for this volume of tank. I then had some moss growing on one of my tanks that was coming right out of the water, and I thought it would be perfect to place on the edge of where the water meets the wood and rocks coming out of the new tank. It just ties it all in nicely, and it also will wick up water, keeping the roots nice and moist. Floating plants are great as well. Again, they can block out some additional light, but they also pull nutrients from the water column, meaning that you don't get as much algae, and they just look great. Kind of makes the whole thing have more of a pond vibe. Then it was time to add our fish, and I have got an awesome Betta fish here. It's a clown Betta, so really nice colours on this boy. And straight away, as soon as I put him in, he looked to be completely comfortable and loving life. Sometimes when you put Bettas in, they can hide straight away, but he didn't at all, and he was always out. This was quite close to where my working area was, my desk, and it's constantly just looking at me. But yeah, this is an incredibly simple design, something that anyone can have a go at, and it works really well. As the tank grows in more and more, there is the option of even removing the filter, because so many nitrates are just being absorbed by all the plants, plus the peace lily roots itself. Because it's out of the water, it's pulling in CO2 from the atmosphere around it, and that means it grows turbocharged. And when something grows fast, it needs nutrients, and the only place they can come from is the water column. So it's kind of like its own personal natural filter, and it works really well. I've done it in so many tanks since this one, and they get absolutely huge. And let's face it, if you can pull the greenery out of the tank and into the top of it, you basically increase the size and interest of the tank overall. Give it a go if you're curious. You can't really go wrong with it. And I hope you've enjoyed this whole video, and I'll see you on the next one.